All right, here we go again. Buckle up. Rough roads ahead. Well, I had a feeling it was going to be a rough night. Nothing probably to do with the epidural. Maybe that I'm using too much magnesium oil. I knocked out my magnesium internal intake, and it seemed to work. But I think I increased my external intake. So I'm going to have to revalve that. That's what I wanted, the steroid treatment, so I could hopefully stop using magnesium. So it should relax the tissues. Kind of lost track of the whole thing because the medicine and the epidural will numb the area, right? Numb down through the legs. Right? So just trying to keep track of this so I don't do any more injury until the steroid kicks in and starts relaxing. But it's like night and day. I mean, even though I'm not sleeping or anything like that right now, I did have a little bit of sleep, but, I just producing a lot of gas in the stomach. I'm taking some chamomile. That works sometimes. So I'm going to try that. I wish I was here 4 years ago. Back did pump up a little bit, but it didn't seem like it was overly pumped up. And it did strengthen the legs. But I don't know what it is right now because the medicine's still in there. So the numbing medicine. So I'm going to wait. Right. I mean, I don't feel numb, but then the nerves are in that area is kind of numb. Well, it might take some massage along with the steroid in the body. Seemed like it was already starting to work with self massage, which is very difficult, especially for what I was trying to do. So what it essentially will do is once I remove the magnesium oil after getting massages and the steroids in there, that the back softens but firms up instead of softening and just kind of right. Which I still would probably investigate the surgery, but no, I'm not lying. That doctor is. I'm a pretty good judge of things. Good doctor. Not good. No, not one. Well, the difference between the Pope and I, the Pope's laying down, resting. I'm working. I'm walking around. I just don't. My back just pumps up. So it still might be. He brought up the ablation. But the question is, if we do the ablation, does the back get too weak? I don't know. Oh, I guess the standard, right? The standard firm up would take over, and the panic firm up is essentially what it would be if that's what it is. Would be stopped. We'll see. Well, the massage could actually, with the steroid, could actually calm it down. I can tell when it's going to work. If I just lay down and it's also comfortable and it doesn't cramp up or anything. Just more difficult to track when you mask it with medicine. I'd rather work it so it, you know, when I lay down, that it relaxes. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to work forward. Yeah, the key is to get it to work without the magnesium oil, and then because the magnesium will deaden the back's ability to adjust itself. But the problem is it just keeps adjusting itself past where it needs to be. Again, we'll see. Again, muscle memory has to be redeveloped and things like that. No, it was the worst experience I ever had, and that was being psyoped at the same time. Not just that, just everything. Whole thing in Texas. Again, I'd already been hit and massaged several times. No, the whole thing, my sinuses went shit. I was bloated. Right. I think we'll go outside and burn some quick incense here. Now, when I see, like, I can see in hindsight's 2020, and with me, sometimes it's, I don't know what's greater than 2020. No, the plan was perfect. It was probably Hashem, and it got blocked. Spirit said 100% with me. Again, those are my words that I generally use. I don't even use them that much anymore. But no, on the inside, like I said before, your thoughts will combine with another being if you have like a, I guess, a Vulcan mind meld type of thing going on. Life is stranger than fiction because it's science fiction. Well, it doesn't completely make sense. I think what happened is something cramped up in the lower abdomen, not abdomen, but the lower back, and was kind of adjusting it that way. But it didn't make sense to leave that cramped up like that. But I mean, I was getting around pretty good, especially in the beginning. Like when I moved here, I was totally well compared to what I've been. And they attacked. Who knows what they use? Like I said, no matter how desperate Ukraine is, they're not going to agree until you agree to something. The lowball offer just fell flat on its face. Trying to find my incense. Sure, I got some of there, but I'm not. You have to spend the time tomorrow getting ready for the pest control. Kiss the mezuzah. Not too cold out here, amazing. That's like something I wasn't like experiencing the nighttime temperature. It's kind of bizarre. I know there's incense. I just have to find it. Well, I know it's numb, but I don't want to like inflame it any further. So I'm waiting for the steroid to take over and see if that works. Right, and then I'll. No, it definitely needs to be uninflamed. I'm not. Oh, here's the incense. Let's see what works. Well, like right now, it does like two completely loose and cramped. It's supposed to actually adjust. Like when it starts adjusting, it just doesn't stop. It keeps going. So that might take a little bit of steroid and massage to get to. We'll have to see. Well, essentially, the muscle's probably not as healthy as it needs to be. So once it restores, it might be able to control itself better. Okay, let me take the shit here. Come over here. Incense here. Just the mezuzah. No, I must have felt okay. I'm just not sure the total mechanics of it. Right. I mean, I was out there doing my gardening and everything. I'm a little worried it on the left side. I don't think that's part of the. I think that's part of like the nerve, the sciatic nerve path. I'm just I'm very leery about my hip socket there. I'm probably gonna have to take some X-rays of that eventually. Oh, but the thing's weak, and I think initially those areas were really fired up when it first happened. Yeah, my back tightened up and it needed to be loosened. So I probably actually needed steroid injections in my back first. Like when I was in Tyler, that's what I probably needed. Just people to shoot steroid into my back, the upper back. Right. I probably would have been a little bit better off faster. And maybe that's what did it because I'd had the epidural, it didn't do much. And then I feel more confident with this epidural, but we'll see. But I eventually had the doctor shoot my back with steroids, and it didn't initially get better, but over time, I think it did. So I think what it did, like I said, it calmed down the back. I just didn't do a lot of massage with it. It just was a very bad time period. Right. So if it if the back calms down and it goes back to normal adjustment, it might, I mean, it's still not going to be perfect, but it's probably going to be more doable. And that's what I'm looking for, getting it more doable. And then I can make decisions under a less constrained process or a less emergent process. So it's a strange time period. My brother got hit too. He's got several things, but he's doesn't have as bad as I do, or as bad as I do. Living a multi-millionaire life. I mean, he's not very he doesn't spend a lot. I probably spend more than he does. It just doesn't make any sense. Him and I should have. Yeah, he should have. Like, the thing is, if I was him and it was reversed, I'd have said, hey, give me $500 a month or whatever. I'll invest it for you. I'd have worked it out. Now he may have thought that if he did that, they trank his investment, and they might. I don't know. Kind of set him up. Yeah, the attacks on the government workers. I mean, that's uncalled for. Right. No, because the reality is this could be Mexico, where Marge Green owns a business. She either pays them a bunch of money or they cut her head off, and then she's gone. You see? Right. So again, she's full of doo doo, and so are the rest. Elon Musk's army wouldn't outlast. Right. I mean, you have to have an army. Right. Even take him out. Take his money. So the doctor told me the one with I called about the high blood pressure med. She said, just take some yogurt with it. Bad idea. Just take some yogurt. That'll help yourself. Yeah. Right. So I thank her for everything that didn't work. Maybe made it worse. What I'm going to do is I'm probably just going to go back on Nexium. I think I may even have shorted the cycle a little. I had so much going on. But, that may be the difference. And some people stay on Nexium for like 3 cycles before it gets somewhere, especially if there's like an ulcer. Right. So I think that's what I'm going to do next. Thanks. That's the government employee voice, frankly. Marge is like, again, they pointed out that she bought Tesla stock, and I don't know if that's a good investment, but she's they complain about Pelosi, but they have their benefactors, right? Well, it's just strange that you're all attacking government employees. You just don't need that fight. I told you not to do it. Who do you think's doing all your freaking work? Do you think it's your people? A bunch of glory hounds. Talk about the glory hounds. Now there are some people in the government ain't worth a shit, but it ain't everybody. Right. I was going to plug this. Yeah, it could be the magnesium oil. So, like I said, if I can just get it so I can lay down comfortably, then it won't matter as much. But I believe it was maybe just cramping completely up, and that's how all that was working. Oh, there's that thing I was looking for. God bless God. God bless God. Now, I'm sure when I was 57, it would have been great to have my spine fused compared to what's happening and what's happening. So again, this probably, we wouldn't be like here. It would already be taken care of. And I probably would have seen a large variety of doctors out of the Rothman team. Because like they say, they're not going to leave you screwed up if they can fix it, no matter what it is. They sign on to get you well. Right. They do the surgery, take you through it. They know you need some pain management. They send the pain management. You need physical therapy. They send the physical therapy. If they know she got a little high blood pressure, they pull that doctor in. Right. The process again. I'd be in a rehab facility where they would have access to those things. But again, I couldn't see. And again, that was the intention of the people that were stalking me. And again, I'm not paranoid. Again, I could be paranoid and I could see them places where they're not. Why? Because that's the desired effect. It has nothing to do with me. It has to do with the people that are doing this to me. And, at this point, they could still be there. I don't know. They look like they disappeared. Right. Okay, all right. Well, you're mad at them because they don't want you to screw them. I mean, that's insane. I mean, you got some, Elon is just like this is the X takeover. I mean, that's his great claim to fame, right? The X takeover. And we compare that to trimming the budget. Like, yeah, the extraneous stuff is not necessary. I should actually call it extraneous shit. You know, I want the inflammation to go away, but I don't like it being masked because I like to monitor it. What makes it inflamed? What allows it not to be inflamed? Now, how relaxed is my back? How not relaxed is my back? That, that stuff should wear off. Because I'm trying to fix it to a certain degree. Right. I'm not just trying to like take some drug and right. Monocaine, cocaine, you see. Well, I already was able to. It actually already for a little bit just adjusted right, like I was saying. It did actually do that for a short period of time. It didn't just right. So I did have a short period in there when I was like, wait a minute. And I'm like, oh, the back's a little bit firmer, but not going crazy. Now, some ibuprofen might do that, but I have to be careful. So again, the hope is that it calms down. That's why we talked about a possible 2 week appointment, not a 4 week, just depending on because it's really treating a different issue. Which I got to remind. Maybe he got confused with what I was saying and where I was pumping up. I don't know. That could have been. He may have thought my lower back was kind of pumping up. I know we talked about the upper back, but again, I threw a lot of information at him. I feel bad because I looked at all the messages I sent him when I was in pain. I'm like, oh, well, not many, but something saying they were told to remove the agents so many times. They just wouldn't do it. Ah, devils. Well, it's just, Cash Patel himself was saying, like, no. I don't get it. You may have a strategy, but it looks whack. See, I don't know if that other stuff will work to stop this because I have it, but the question is, does it? What's it called again? I have it over here. Ondansetron. It has another name because it slows down the stomach, so it might just slow down the gas. Like that's kind of a gentler version of it. The the chamomile tea. Excuse me. So I'm banking on it maybe kicking in here shortly, and then the gas stops. It's just it's not real humid in here, 42%, but for some reason it won't go down to like 30 something. So that's a concern. And as strange as it sounds, I think I have to study that. My sinuses are giving me an issue, but I think fluticasone can cause issues. Just like actually, believe it or not, ibuprofen has a reverse effect in some cases. When I read that, I got off it, and I actually did get better. So I'm a little cautious with it. Again, if you paid me what you owed me, and you could do that by giving me my Persian Gulf syndrome payment, then this would be a lot easier to manage. Not perfect, but a lot easier. Like after all the extra work I did over the years, that would be worthwhile and beneficial to all. Otherwise, you can keep reneging, and God will get you. Well, God only warns so many times, and it's not me; it's God. No matter how I feel emotionally, I've already made parameters. I've explained those many times over the years. What happened to my? Trying to find my. Where's that? Found that. No, it is what happens when I look for stuff. Find the stuff I was looking for before. I'm looking for the antibiotic 3-in-1 ointment. I took a powder. I can't find it. Well, it was like if my back was kind of cramped, not cramped up like it is now, and that was way too much. But when it was cramped up, and now there were like hot spots on the legs that were like cramped. So I don't know if that stopped the inflammation from flowing or what. But I mean, it was working to a certain degree. I mean, I could move around, I could do things. Here's an empty one. There's a box with a new one somewhere. I'm definitely going to have to. Well, I know what happened. I know better. I bought some generic Nexium. I think that's what I used in the end. I misplaced my other Nexium. I know better to do that because you might only be getting like 10% of the dose. The way it's going nowadays. That's another thing we have to do. We need to start testing the foreign medicines coming in. I mean, make sure it's not, they're not looking the other way because they get a bribe or something. Right. So we need to increase our inspection. Well, Elon says we don't have money for that. Yeah, I didn't get very far on this. I just opened the bottle of Nexium. Or I opened it. I know I'm in something because I can see how my leg kind of broke out. This will, when I get on the other side of this, it'll go away. So when the county guy in 2013 is doing my request for Persian Gulf syndrome, which never got anywhere, right? It disappeared out of the file or out of the request, whatever it is. It could be a file. The trying to look for the guy, the county rep said on Persian Gulf syndrome, as you get older, it tends to increase. Because he suggested that I would never get better. And I said, no, I feel like I'm going to get better on this. But he says it comes and goes, and as you get older, it increases. But the doctor said like the opposite. Like you would have had it, and again, I believe it was a setup, a deep state setup. He said you would have had it back then. So the county rep even said something different, and it seems to be true. It was so weird because even at a certain point with this, it appeared that the veggie straws was working, and then at a certain point they didn't work anymore. But it was chilling my stomach out for whatever reason. I don't know, how it was working. But if I ate that, then the gas would go away, and then the other day it didn't work. At a certain point here, I'm going to take the Nexium, but I took the yogurt, which you're not supposed to do. I think my mother needed the surgery. Or I don't know. My mother, she just took the medicine. So I don't know. She took main medicine all the time. So I don't know if she needed anything really. Because she's sitting there at 80 something and she can still walk fine. So, right. She had a while that she couldn't walk, but I think she wouldn't walk. She had one of those things where she got some illness and just kind of shut down. She's mad at my brother because he moved her. And like she keeps hitting the button, the call button and stuff. So they didn't want her in there anymore. Right. So he said he had to pay for a higher level of attendant. My gosh. At least I think she still walks. I think my brother says she just for a while wouldn't walk. I definitely had all this going on with the epidural steroid in Naples. And then they gave me the 2 shots. She gave me shots in my shoulders. That was just trigger point. And, it all did go into the background. But again, I am older and the damage is probably larger. But there's nothing to say that it can't minimize. It just was strange what happened to Amarillo and Tyler. And I just never really got anywhere. What happened is he gave me the orthotics and they started to work almost instantly. But it never got better beyond a certain point. Like, and some of it cramped up. I just couldn't find my way anywhere. I think I tried to find a place to live in Pennsylvania that I believed I could afford before I ever moved into Oklahoma. It's just they're not new construction or anything, and they're just like $300, $400 more or anything. I mean, it just looks like ancient construction. They just like redid the inside. I'd be worried about mold in those for sure. Yeah, I probably should have went to Manhattan. It'd been new construction. Yeah, like right now, my neurology's like kinked weird because I can tell what's going on. And I've been trying to get to someone to massage to see if they could redo it. Right. Like even just massaging the legs. You can massage your legs and help heal the inflammation, which could cause the back to calm down. Also, like kind of a reverse concept. It's just weird because like when I first started I got back into the ashwagandha, it helped. And then at a certain point, it didn't seem to help as well. So I'm not sure because it fights cortisol. And maybe it did continue to help. It's just some of these could have got, a little more inflamed. But yeah, that doctor, I was just, I hope I didn't like trigger his, what do they call that? OCD or whatever. But he's a good guy. I mean, it wasn't just OCD because he went and he wrote a real response. I'm in a real response, and ended it with see you tomorrow. He moved up my appointment. Right, so right, the nerves that could be triggering. It's not exactly the sciatic nerve, although it could contribute. Right? But the two nerves that could be causing the cramp up or down there too. So they could benefit from that medication also and the steroid. So they just don't cramp, they relax. So like when this happened before, when it healed all the way, I should have, if I could have had people like the pain management guy that I have now, he could have explained things to me better. 100%. And even the people that do ablation, ablation's funny because it doesn't readily come into mind. Right? The guy told me about ablation. The guy that died, my neighbor, that said, "Yeah, I'll give you a ride to your pain management appointment," and he like the 2 days before he's dead, died in a horrible car accident. He used to drink too much. Again, that's why I don't even want to get started with pills. Praise God that I've been able not to be that kind of person so far. Well, he used pills and he drank. He's a good guy, but people have issues. So 2 days before that's the curse, man. He said, "Yeah, I'll give you a ride, no problem." I'm like, "Where the hell is he? Are they messing with me? The deep state messing with me?" Okay, sure. And then, so I had to do like a real quick service that drives you and drops you off. I was screwed up. I don't know what they used. And then he hit the sack, and no, I don't have a numb feeling at all. But I'm sure some of the stuff is still there. I guess I was just glad to have like kind of almost not normal, but I could sleep. Some of my sleeps were up to 8 hours and 9 hours. I guess 8 hours, and that was happy with that. Happy for little things. I guess I have to get another antibiotic ointment. I know there's one more tube somewhere, but I don't know where I put it. At least I believe there's one. I think I'm going to take, I just won't, I'll skip it in the morning. I want to get back on that Nexium because it did seem to help, but I just was like, I'm going to try to minimize it. Yeah, because I remember my mother had back trouble and she couldn't get massages because it would hurt her. And I said, I'm never going to get like that. I'm just going to stay with this. And that was even like, Cairo and massage. And that was even like, when I was still in Naples. Because I tried to get her to go and she said she just couldn't deal with it. Right. Well, there's a certain point in the process you have to get past it. If you're back to grades a certain point, and if it can be healed, it might hurt a little bit before you get there. Right. So, just like I don't have those intense pumps now. It's still not operating where I want it to. But again, I'm an active, intuitive kind of guy when it comes to this. I mean, for me to have completely stopped, that's strange. Let's try this. 100% real Nexium. Yeah, I one of those trips to Walmart, I grabbed those, or I had them delivered. I can't remember. Well, it definitely didn't hurt to sit in my van when I was on those rides, or I wouldn't have probably taken them. So I know this kind of inflammation was minimized. I remember to lock all the doors around here. And you never know when somebody's just going to be checking doors. People get desperate, especially for drug use. So what she said also is make sure you take it early in the morning. That way, if it's going to affect you, it hopefully would just affect you early in the morning. I guess Justin Bieber's getting wasted or something. Might be the stress of the whole Diddy thing. Trying to see the video if they have it.
High like a fly guy. I fly high like a magpie. I go high like a that guy. That guy. I high like a fly guy. I fly high like a magpie. I go high like a that guy. That guy. I high like a fly guy. I fly high like a magpie. I go high like a that guy. That guy.
The voice is kind of screwed up too. It's a weird voice.
He was also spotted shirtless. High like a fly guy. I fly high like a magpie. I go high like a that guy. That guy. I high like a fly guy. I fly high like a magpie. I go high like a that guy. That guy. I high like a fly guy. I fly high like a magpie. I go high like a that guy. That guy. I
don't know if I had a different, I laid different.
You're here. You're now seeing it up close.
Somehow something happened to my Truth Access. I just finally got back in, and it was just weird. Yeah, but steroid can also interfere with sleep too.
Easy. Oh, easy. Oh.
Yeah, it makes no sense where Brazil tries to rule truth or Rumble, like it says, on truth. Truth should actually run, like they can use. I think the Rumble stuff on truth, like it should be part of a post. Like I can broadcast live to truth, and I don't have to broadcast to Rumble. Start moving. We got rid of the guy from Roya, Trump supporter.
To make is truth. I mean, you got the support of President Trump. Where do you stand? Are you ready to make the play?
Yeah, he used because they had issue and hit the sack uh, last time. The pain management doctor made the command decision to use a what do they call it? You have to get out of it. Wow, spirits are trying to ruin catheter. But boy, that's a whole different procedure. There's a lot of pressure when it's pushed up in there. There's a certain way that he showed me on the, he showed me everything. He showed me on the diagram how it is fed in. So it has to travel quite a distance, but he didn't want to even go there, make the possibility of it happening. Hmm. Yeah, what I would essentially do is I don't know how much Trump is interested in. Well, actually, the ag jobs are definitely open. And which jobs would be open for people that self deport? Their boss could get them in, right? If it's one of the programs that has, well, that's the key. I mean, you have to actually come into the country under the program. You got a registry. Well, I think at the border they were registered, right? If they came into the border and it sought amnesty. Yeah, because you're registered if you're paroled. Right. Aliens who have already registered. That's right. I don't know how many people are registered. Because anybody outside those group of people would just be removed. I thought this guy was always arrested. This is no news article. I think he is. Some data decision. No, I was planning to have a good back all the way through my life. Even when I was in Naples, they just kept interfering in everything. I'm trying to, he's losing Tesla. He already got paid on the side for something. Oh, it doesn't matter. It don't matter. I guess I could buzz on out of here now. Shoot. Well, the first one, pattern of practice is very important. Even if it's not going to be charged. Right? So the first one or couple times can be written off, but eventually it can't be. And that's what's happening. Well, stay peaceful. Praise God and all that you do. Praise God.